Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's end, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the barren find. Oh,
Somebody left already.
or so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red again. The bomb bursting in night. Came through the night. The fire was still there.
Bring it home now.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free?
Get it now.
And the home
Hey everyone, I'm here with T-Pain.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the lovely sounds of y'all man T-Pain singing the national anthem at the Dodgers game a few days ago. God bless him. I'm not gonna lie, it sounded a lot better than I anticipated, but he was trying a little too hard. I think we can all agree on that, right? Anyway, greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Straight Talk, where we give it to you straight with no chaser. I am your host, the People's Champ himself, Christopher Platt. As always, we are broadcasting live this evening from the Platt Cave. The second day of September, 2015. I know y'all, my people back east, are sitting here thinking, damn, because y'all know what's about to hit you. Y'all know exactly what's about to hit you. Anyhow, I hope everybody is having a nice, productive week. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. I know I enjoyed mine. We went up to a resort town by the name of Sedona, Arizona, and had a really good time. Ate some good food, had a helicopter ride, fed a giraffe. You know, same thing you do on your vacation. Yeah. My life is dope and I do dope shit. What do you want me to do? But it was nice, man. It was relaxing. It was a really good time. We really enjoyed ourselves. And which reminds me to let you all, or remind you all rather, to take those vacation days, man. What's the point of working if you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor every now and again? So you work hard, but you also have to play hard as well. That is your reward. And sometimes you need to take some time off and go do some fly shit just to kind of recharge your battery. You know what I mean? And plus, when you get accustomed to doing fly shit, it motivates you. So you're like, well, damn, I need to figure out how to make some more money so I can continue to do this fly shit. So it's an excellent motivator, right? Yeah. Sometimes we get so caught up in life that we forget to live. And that's the most important part of this thing, man. You got to live, right? Don't just exist. Don't just be. You know what I mean? Live, right? So anyway, we're going to get this started. We're going to light the ceremonial black and mild here momentarily. If you are new to this broadcast, of course, we've got a couple of ways to go about this. First, you can log on through your social media stream of your choice, or you can log on through the actual Ustream site itself. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and this show, by the way. I'd greatly appreciate that. Either way, once you do that, I am able to see your questions, your comments, and your concerns. Most importantly, at least tonight, well, every night, but especially tonight, I want to hear your questions because that is the show topic this evening. This is the questions episode. I've got a few questions I want to ask. If you have some answers to some of my questions, I would greatly appreciate it, because clearly I don't, or else I wouldn't be asking questions, right? But I'm just going to ask some questions tonight. This is the questions episode, so we're going to ask some questions. Again, it is always important that you do ask questions. You have to question everything. Somebody got their ass beat upstairs. But you need to question everything. The things that you hold the most near and dear to you, those are the things that you need to question the hardest. Again, those are the things that you need to question the hardest, because the truth stands up to questioning, right? So don't be scared to ask questions. So let's see. I just put lotion on my hands, so it's a little difficult to open my water at first. I played it off actually kind of well. I loosened it up though. So let's get this show on the road. Whoever's in the house, let me know you're in the house tonight. We're going to have some fun tonight, man. We're going to ask some questions. I'm going to make you think, hopefully. Hopefully you'll respond in kind and make me think, and we just be some thinking melon farmers tonight. As always, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the good folks at Middleton. Thank you, Middleton. Give me an endorsement deal, damn it. I do enough promotion for you. Matter of fact, I need some stock options as well, but that's neither here nor there. So anywho, again, this is the questions episode of Straight Talk, and the reason this topic came about is because I was just kind of in quiet reflection yesterday as well as today. And I was just thinking, I'm a philosopher as well, a self-proclaimed philosopher. And I was just thinking about a couple of different things, and I just wanted to ask some questions. See, I have this problem. Well, more than one. But this particular problem is that things have to make sense for me. And I'm a little off. You dig? So things have to make sense for me. And one of the great things about unplugging from the matrix is that you now see things. And you see cracks in the armor. And that raises questions. Now, you don't always have answers to these questions, but that being said, it's extremely important to at least ask the question. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. So yeah, whoever's in the house, somebody shoot me a line, man. Let me know you're here. Please and thank you. I know it's a little difficult if you're tuning into tonight's broadcast on your phone, but damn it, somebody say something. Let me get a hey. Let me get a ho. Let me get a hey and a ho. Well, I guess, hey, I don't need a ho, but anywho. So let's go. So again, this topic came about because I was just kind of, hey yo, hey ho, hey man, don't call your mama a ho. I set up for that. Y'all see what I did there? Yeah. So anywho, this topic came about because I've just had my quiet reflection period the past couple of days, and that happens from time to time. Sometimes you just gotta kind of think things through. Sometimes you need to just take time to just be still and think about things. You dig? Yeah. So that's how this came about. So what tipped all this off is that I was watching something. I don't remember. It was CNN or one of those lamestream media channels. I was watching that, and they were talking about your man, Vester Flanagan. That's the guy that shot and killed the news reporter and the cameraman. And I believe he shot somebody else as well, but I think she's going to pull through, thank God. And I was thinking about that. And then I thought about it some more. And then I thought some more. Then I kept thinking. And it finally dawned on me, for the better half of a year, we've been seeing all these unarmed black people getting mowed down and shot down on camera. And the first question that came to me, and I've often thought this, I've never expressed it out loud to anybody but myself. So I figured, why not now, right? That's why we have this platform. But the first thing I thought about, or what I've been thinking about, and what I can't really seem to wrap my brain around, and again, I don't know what it means, I'm just asking the question, is why don't we ever see any blood? You know what I mean? We've been watching for the better half of a year, for a better part of a year now, these black people getting shot down and mowed down by the police and whatnot, and a lot of them are on camera, but we haven't seen any blood. And that doesn't really make sense to me. Like, why don't we see any blood? You know, like, I don't know if you all have ever seen the Kennedy assassination, but if you do, I mean, you can literally see his brain coming out the other side of his head. Once the shot hits, I mean, you literally see his brain coming out the other side of his head. So why is it that we've seen all of these people getting gunned down and we have yet to see a spot of blood? We see no splatter, no nothing. Like even the guy in Cincinnati, what was his name? Samuel Du Bois. This dude shot him at point blank range and there was no splatter. No blood got on the camera. Nothing. Right? I don't know. I just find that very odd. Why do we not see any blood? I don't know. I'm just... This is the questions episode. We're just asking questions. That just seems very odd to me for you to be able to shoot somebody and you see nothing. There's no blood. You don't see a stream of blood trickling anywhere. You don't see no brain, meat, or anything like that flying. That just seems very strange. Don't you agree? That just seems very strange to me. Now, back to our boy Vester. So, the official story is that he worked for this news station. He was fired 2 years ago. Okay, number one, that's my first red flag. Because what the hell black person you know is going to wait 2 years to exact some revenge? Like, black people aren't that calculating. We tend to act more, you know, that's one of our problems, that we don't think. We're not calculating, we don't strategize. Like, that's kind of why we're at where we at, right? So you're telling me this dude waited 2 years to exact his revenge. And again, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I'm just asking questions. That just seems odd, does it not? Does it not? Because, you know, black people, again, we react more on emotion than anything else. So it's kind of like, oh, this nigga banged my girl. Bang. That's just kind of how black people in America are. And again, we saw that, and he shot that woman at point blank range. And again, we saw no blood whatsoever. We didn't see any blood. And how can you not see somebody with a gun right there? Like, how does that not register to you? You know what I mean? Like, I do not see that. Even feel it. I understand, okay, maybe you're doing your job and you're into your job, but how can you not feel that with your peripherals? You understand? Why? How can your spirit not feel that? Like, how can he sneak up on you like that? Right? So that just seems odd to me. And again, I'm not saying this is the questions episode, man. So we're just asking questions. If you got some questions, go for it. What's up, Cody? He said conventional media outlets won't show it. Go to liveleak.com. Okay. So if they edited the tape, so now we're saying that they edited the tape. So if they're able to edit the tape to edit out the blood and the guts and all the splatter and everything, what else could they be hiding? Is it outside the realm of possibility that something else might have been edited as well? He also says that shit's nuts. Like, I don't want to see it. But I'm just saying. And then, all of a sudden, this guy's manifesto comes out. This note comes out. And he talks about trying to excite a race war, this or that. You know, with everything going on in our country right now, I don't know. To me, that just seems very convenient. That just seems very convenient. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little too neat. Like, it just ties everything up into a nice little bow. You feel me? That's just a very convenient storyline. And again, the main thing is I understand black people, and I know how black people operate, and I don't know a Negro in the face, or at least in this country, that's going to wait 2 years to exact some revenge. And why her? I know they said he's gay, but could it possibly be a sexual thing? I'm just saying. You know, the fiance came out and said they were about to get married. Maybe it was a sexual thing. I don't know. Again, we're just spitballing here, man. We're just asking questions. If y'all have any questions, feel free. We're just asking questions. That's all. Just asking questions. It just seems a little too nice and neat for me. That's all. It seems a little too nice and neat. Like it's kind of like the Transformers. You know, there's more to that than meets the eye. But it's a very convenient narrative because of what's going on right now in our country. Very convenient narrative. And again, that Melon Farmer is crazy, man. We don't, you know, we don't condone violence of any type, man. I'm non-violent, man. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So I'm not trying to condone any of that. And did y'all see this dude? Judging by I put this on Facebook, and judging by the responses I got, nobody, you guys didn't see it. But there's this dude down in Texas. His name is Nathan Ender. So he's this, we'll say, suspected white supremacist. He was a former correctional guard, and he's on this interview, and he goes on this 5-6 minute rant, talking in code the whole time. By the way, he kind of slipped up at the end, but he was talking in code for most of the time. And he was saying, if when you see these Black Panthers come to your town, you know, we're gonna handle them, and we're not taking this anymore, and nobody's gonna shoot another cop on my watch, and blase this, blase that. Just talking real greasy, you know what I mean? So we here at Straight Talk have actually obtained Nathan Ender's telephone number, and we're going to give Nathan Ender a call here live on the air right now. We are going to call Nathan Ender. And if you haven't seen the tape, somebody throw the link up, please, so you guys can see the recording, because I'm not doing it justice. But we're getting ready to call this gentleman right now. This is his actual telephone number. At least it was as of yesterday. We're actually going to call this man live on Straight Talk tonight. It's coming up. Just wait for it.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number or try to call again.
We tried, y'all. That was going to be good entertainment. We tried. I promise that is his actual number. As of yesterday, it was working because we called it. You know what I mean? It was working. Clearly, I wasn't the only one that was able to obtain his telephone number. That's unfortunate, but we tried. Like, we were going to have a dialogue live here on the air. It was going to be funny as hell. That's another thing, Frank. Yes, thank you for breaking that up, man. He did. His hands were white in the video. And I recall that. I'm glad you brought that up, because when I first saw the tape, Lord forgive me for saying this, but when I first saw the tape and I saw that his hands were white, I said, thank God it's not a black guy, because I knew where that was headed. You know what I mean? And then an hour later, we get a picture of this black guy that looks like he stepped out of a 90s R&B group. Thank you. I forgot all about that. Why were his hands white in the video? Like, not white as in like he's wearing white gloves like the Queen or nothing like that. No, this Melon Farmer's hands had a distinctive lack of pigment. So yeah, there's just certain things about this that just aren't adding up, man. There's just certain things that aren't adding up. And again, so Cody said, yeah, they edit out the blood for television. Did I get that? That's true. But then you have to ask the question, what else are they editing? Because like with the, I don't know if y'all saw the Sandra Bland footage when the cop pulled him over, and that was proven that it was edited. Because like there was a car that just, the same car that just kept coming by, and that was actually proven on the internet that that was doctored. Okay, thank you, A-Roll. So A-Roll put up the link to the Nathan Ender and his little tirade that he went on that just got posted yesterday. So yeah, don't leave here. You know what I mean? Watch it later on your time. Motherfucker, you on my time. So watch it later on your time. But check it out. And yeah, this dude is just going off. And he's talking in code the whole time, right up until the very end. And then he just kind of snaps and he says, you black asses or something like that. He just snaps. And when you're dealing with a suspected white supremacist, that's really the best thing you can do, is just allow them to keep talking. Because eventually they're going to run out of code. You know what I mean? And don't get mad. Maintain your cool. But that's the two things they do. They deflect, and then they speak in code. But all you got to do is just keep them talking, and keep them on task, because they'll try to deflect and they'll get off into some other stuff and take you somewhere all the way else. But that's how you deal with those situations. But yeah. Oh, and A-Rose says the video that Vester showed on Facebook or on his social media didn't have any blood in it either. And that's just like I said, if you've ever seen the Kennedy assassination, you literally see his brain coming out the other side of his head. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying, man, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. Because see, because everything is so polarizing now that nobody asks questions. And quite frankly, when you do ask questions, you get flambasted in the mainstream media. Luckily for me, I don't have to worry about such things, so I can just speak the truth, which is kind of cool. It's very liberating, by the way. You all should try it sometime, just saying whatever the hell is on your mind. It's extremely liberating. Extremely liberating. So again, man, yeah, we're just asking questions here tonight, and I'm just certain things that just didn't make sense to me. And we're kind of all over the place with these questions. Like the next thing I thought about was LeBron James for some odd reason. Y'all remember a couple of years ago in the NBA Finals, this is when he was still with the Heat. And you remember game 1 in San Antonio where he cramped up and he had to sit out the duration of the game, the last, 2 or 3 minutes. Again, I'm just pontificating, and I'm thinking to myself, and I said, well, I've cramped up before, and so have you. A spasm, that's the same thing as a cramp. So, hypothetically, let's say we've all been lying in the bed before, and all of a sudden we feel that cramp, right? What's the first thing we do? We jump up out of bed and try to walk it off, right? So if he was cramping up, why did people have to pick him up and carry him off the court? And see, that's not a health thing. That's just your natural reaction as a human being. Oh, shit, I got a cramp. Let me try to walk that off. Right? I'm not saying, I'm just saying. And couple that with the fact that you just saw a fixed Super Bowl 9 months ago. Right? Did we know? Did we not just see a fixed Super Bowl 9 months ago? Everybody in their mama knew Beast Mode was going to get that yard. But somehow, some way, everybody but the coach. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. And even Beast, he came out this summer. He did an interview overseas. And he was talking about how it was probably best that he didn't score the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying, man. These are just the thoughts that I randomly have from time to time. Another one, the Catholic Church. And for those of you that don't know, for you Christians that don't know, all of your rituals, all of your traditions and everything that you hold sacred in regards to the faith of Christianity, that came from the Catholic Church. All that was initially started from the Catholic Church. So this summer, and I think I talked about this on this show before, kind of in passing because I wanted to look into it a little more. But this summer, the Catholic Church actually came out and said that the Christ is not returning. Like, no shit, like, for real, this happened. You can Google it yourself. As a matter of fact, do Google it yourself. Don't take my word for it. Matter of fact, yeah, don't take my word for anything. Don't take my word for anything. Don't take your pastor's word for anything. Don't take your politician's word for anything. Don't take anybody's word for anything. You do the knowledge for yourself. You do the research for yourself. See, I stand behind everything I say here on this platform. Because you can Google it for yourself and find out. I'm spitting the truth. So yeah, don't take my word for nothing. Don't take anybody's word for anything. You do the knowledge, you do the work, you do the research yourself. And you uncover the truth for yourself. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. But they actually came out and said that Christ is not returning. My Christians out there, did you hear about that? And pardon me if I come across as condescending, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just saying, isn't that the whole basis of the faith? Isn't that the whole reason that you practice Christianity? With the faith and the belief that one day the Christ is going to return and raise all the good people up to heaven while God destroys all the wicked? Like, isn't that the whole basis of the faith? And the Catholic Church, the entity that founded and spread the faith as you know it, the form of Christianity that you know, has come out and said that that ain't happening. Did y'all even hear about that? Did y'all even hear about that? Yeah, this is real. Like, I'm not making this up. And I think I mentioned it when I initially read it, but I kind of, like I said, I mentioned it in passing because I wanted to look into it a little more. I didn't know the context of the conversation. They might have been saying it in jest. They might have been saying it in a jokey joke, hard tone. I didn't know. But yeah, they said that. And that was real. And it wasn't one of those, it wasn't like The Onion or no shit like that. Like, they actually said that. The Vatican actually came out and said Christ is not coming back. So now what? Now what? Speaking of which, so yeah, so the Christ is not coming back apparently, according to the Catholic Church. Christians, how do you feel about that? Because isn't everything that you believe based on that basis? Like, isn't that the whole edict of the faith? And while we're on the faith, I don't really understand the concept of tithing. And I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not attempting to be disrespectful. I'm just asking questions. I don't understand that concept of tithing. So you're supposed to give God 10% of your income. And I don't understand why God would need 10% of your income. What, does God need a little pocket change? God need a little walking around money in case God want to go to the movies or have a hamburger? And if you're investing in God, well, then where's the return on your investment? And I know a lot of my Christians, they're going to say that, well, tithing is to show your obedience and your faith and your loyalty to God. Okay. And then they'll say, why currency? God didn't invent currency. That's some man shit, right? God don't know nothing about currency. Right? And again, my Christians will say, well, before there was currency, Christians sacrificed animals and offered them up as an offering to the Lord. My question then is, well, who told you that? Did God tell you that? Or did you read that in a book made by man? Right? And why would God destroy Sodom and Gomorrah for homosexuality, but not destroy the Roman and the Greek empires? Because they was getting it in too, y'all. In the Roman and the Greek empires, they slept with their mates for procreation, but they slept with each other for recreation. And how can God be so vehemently against homosexuality when the man who commissioned the Bible to be written, King James, who at the time was the King of England, was homosexual himself? We're just asking questions. If you have answers, please. We're just asking questions. I just never understood that. I never understood that. And speaking of Sodom and Gomorrah, when the new book of life is written, because that's what this thing is all about, by the way. But when the new book of life is written, will Katrina and Haiti, will they be featured similarly to Sodom and Gomorrah? Because see, that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. This whole white supremacy nonsense, that's what this is all about. It's about spreading your civilization. It's about elite European males exerting their dominance and leaving the mark of their civilization. See, because you got to understand, this thing has been going on since the beginning of time. Since been pimping. And see, back in the day, they wrote and drew pictures and painted on the cave walls to tell their stories. Then we got tablets. Then we got books. We always had word of mouth. And now with the technology, we have television and we have film. Does that make sense to y'all? And that's what this whole thing has been about. When the new book of life is written, the new Bible, the new Quran, the new Torah, that's what this is all about. Is elite European males exerting their dominance and letting the world know, future generations know I was here. That's all this is about. This is nothing different. It's just like the Egyptians, just like the Romans, just like the Greeks. Because at least in terms of the religions, it's the exact same script. Like every civilization keeps telling the same story over and over again. They just flip it to meet their specific agenda, or to meet their constituency, if you will. That's all this thing is about, man. That's all this thing is about. And see, my white brothers and sisters, or rather I should say, my brothers and sisters watching tonight that think they are white. Because there's not a white person within the sound of my voice. Let's keep it 100. But see, you all have been propped up as the gatekeepers. Your job is to be, whether you know it or not, your job is to be the gatekeepers in order to maintain the status quo. And as a result of that, you get certain privileges, i.e. white privilege. You get certain privileges. But you still a slave to the masters too. You're just the equivalent of the house nigga. And see, we think that we're so civilized and we think we're hot shit, you know, with our iPhones and our electric cars and whatnot. But hell, they still can't figure out how the niggas did the pyramids, man. They still can't figure out how those niggas did the pyramids. Nigga, by the way, being Ethiopian for king. Did you know that? The word nigga is Ethiopian for king. So when I say nigga, yeah, that's what I meant. They still can't figure that out, but we think we so hot shit. And you know, we're very self-absorbed. I don't know if that's a us thing or if that's just human nature. I'm beginning to think that that's just human nature, that we're just very self-absorbed. So we think that we're the end-all be-all. We don't realize that it's the different toilet, same script. Or different toilet, same shit. Different actors, same script. This is nothing new, man. This is nothing new. You know? Y'all ever get irritated? Another question. Y'all ever get irritated when white people talk about BET? Like, well, why you get a BET? If there was a white entertainment television, you'd be crazy. It'd be called racist. I got news flash for you, dummy. Every channel is white entertainment television. It's your world, man. Just because you see some blacks on there every now and again, that's not equality. Everything is based on you. And there's white people on BET. Hell, BET is owned by white people. It's not equality, man. Like, it's your world. Everything is based on the white standard. They don't have to call it white entertainment television. That's a given. Everything is measured by the white standard. And if white people don't validate it, then it's invalid. It doesn't count. It doesn't matter, right? Like, think about it like this. My man GW. And I honestly, I don't have a beef with George Bush. Like, and I've said this publicly, man. He seems like a cool enough chap. He seems like a nice guy to go have a beer with, right? But think about it. Cokehead alcoholic. C student. Got into Yale because he was legacy, right? Juxtapose that with Barack Obama. Straight A's all throughout school. Went to the best universities, both Harvard and Yale. Straight A's. The man, flying color, passed with flying colors, president of the law school, or the law, whatever, law club, whatever the hell it is, right? GW didn't even get voted in by the people the first time. Meanwhile, Barack Obama had to be super Negro. He had to have all his ducks in a row. He had to have all the credentials. He had to have that because white America wouldn't have voted for him otherwise. Barack Obama had to be super Negro to get into office. You feel me? You feel the disparity? You understand what I'm saying here? Just something to ponder. Just something to ponder. And y'all want to talk to me about prostration. Anywho. Ease on down the road. What else was I thinking about here? One thing that I've been thinking about, and this one might kind of blow some people's minds, but I want y'all to follow me here on this one. So we're told, hold on, let me check here. So anyway, let me get back to the Catholic Church here for a second. I'm trying to figure out how to do this transition smoothly, and it's just not working out. So we're just gonna kind of spit for a little bit. But yeah, so anyway, I got off in my little rant. And back to the Catholic Church though, like that's got to kind of shake your foundation a little bit if you're a Christian, right? Because that's the whole purpose of the faith. Right? But something else I was thinking about. So we're told that, or we know through the story, that the human manifestation of God via the Christ, in order to enter this earthly realm, had to pass through the body of a woman, right? So that being said, how do we know that man was the first inhabitant on this planet? Because in order to create life, it has to pass through a woman, right? So how do we know that man was the first inhabitant? How do we know that woman wasn't the first inhabitant here on earth? Now, some of you smart melon farmers are going to say, well, the man has to have the seed, and the man has to plant the seed in the woman. But scientists has proven this. This has actually been proven scientifically as well as religiously, that a man isn't necessarily needed. In science, it's called in vitro. In the religious text, it's called in virgin. You know, the immaculate, I was about to say the immaculate reception, Lord forgive me, the immaculate conception and all that, right? So it's been done, and it's been proven that we don't necessarily have to be a man, or don't necessarily need a man. So how would all this populate without a woman? And then to take it even a step further, if God is the creator of all, and we've already established that, at least on this planet, in order to create life, it must come through a woman. And let me say this again. We've already established that in order to create life, it must come through a woman. If God is the creator of all, and life must first be incubated, gestated, and ultimately pass through a woman, how can we be so sure that God is a he? How can we be so sure with the utmost certainty that God is a he? I'm going to let that linger for a second, but I want y'all to feel me. And I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to start from the beginning. If God is the creator of all things, and we know, at least on this planet, that only a woman has the ability to create life, how can we be for certain that God is a he? Because think about it, we refer to God in terms of it with feminine pronouns all the time. We just don't ever think about it. We just don't ever think about it. Mother Nature, Mother Earth. Again, it has been established both scientifically as well as through religious texts that the origin of humankind started in Africa. What do we call Africa? The motherland. Hurricanes. Hurricanes. Now, if you listen to Dick Gregory, what Dick Gregory says is that hurricanes are actually a form of punishment because they start off the coast of Africa and then they follow the exact same route that the slave ships followed. The exact same route. And then he also brings up a good point that I'd never thought about, which is you never, or at least I haven't ever heard of a hurricane hitting Canada. I've never heard of a hurricane hitting Canada. And Canada never had slaves, and Canada never participated in the slave trade. And think about this. And I'm admittedly going to oversimplify things because I'm trying to prove a point. But just feel me on this. Follow me, okay? Just stay with me. If I lose you, let me know. I'll double back and come pick you up. Damn near everything that is bad in this world that we know can be traced back to the tip of a dick, to a penis, to having testicles, a phallus, if you will. Think about it. Wars, enslavement, dominion over your surroundings and other people, ruthless aggression, hyper competitiveness. Even our women being so fucked up. Even our women being so fucked up. And ladies, I say that with love. Because not just here, but worldwide, man, we are so sexist. Our very rituals and our customs of our civilization, and I don't say that just the United States, I'm talking about worldwide, our entire customs, our entire rituals, our entire way of being subjugates women. We just take it as a granted, as a given that they're less than. And then the religious texts that we have, be it the Bible, be it the Quran, be it the Torah, not only do they second those emotions and validate those feelings, but throughout all of those books, if you read them, it's always the woman's fault. So what if we got this whole thing bass backwards? What if we got it all wrong? What if we got it all wrong? Because we just always take it for granted that God is a He. But we fail to remember that we also live in a patriarchal existence. So what if God is a she? Again, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, the motherland. Even says in the Bible, God is a jealous God. Who the hell that sound like? I'm making jokes now. I had to light it up a little bit, but I just dropped something real heavy, man. Like, what if we got this whole thing all wrong? What if God is a she? And when you really think about it, you mean to tell me it doesn't make sense? You mean to tell me it doesn't make sense? Now, in order to, and I'm not saying, I'm just saying, but again, in order to ride with that, again, we have to establish two truths. First off, you do have to believe in a higher power, okay? And if you do believe in that higher power, then we know that God is the creator of all. And you also have to say, yes, on this planet, women are the creator of life. And I don't think that's really a stretch. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not taking you out to Jupiter with that one, right? Hey, Chippy Chip. But what if God is a she? What if God is a she? And we got this whole thing all twisted, all fucked up. Because again, man, if you think back to everything, not everything bad, but the majority of stuff that is bad in this world, doesn't it at the base of it come down to little boys that can't play nice with each other? Chippy Chip says, I don't see the difference. Well, the difference is because we live in a patriarchal society. And as a result of that, women have always been subjugated and treated as second-class citizens. And that transcends everything. That transcends race. That transcends everything. That's every country, every religious text, everything. He said, I see men and women share cloth qualities. Oh, close qualities. Well, of course, man, we're human beings. But we always take it for granted. Like it's not even a thought. It's just he. But you also have to remember who wrote the books. And another thing, man, while we're at it, man, y'all need to stop equating God to religion, because they don't. And a lot of people do that. Because even when I talk, people do that. No. Relating, you can't relate God and religion, okay? That's like relating basketball to basket weaving. Okay? So stop doing that. Stop doing that. As a matter of fact, the word religion comes from a Latin word, which I'm not going to try to pronounce because I don't speak Latin. But the root of the word is to bind. The root of the word is to bind. But think about that. Now, I just dropped something real heavy on y'all, man. I'm going to take a sip of my water and let that kind of marinate with y'all for a second. And see, we take it for granted because, again, we live in a male-dominated existence and a sexist existence. Even the fact that the women are fucked up, man, we can put that on penis, on a man. You know? We objectify them at every turn. And I'm no better. I do the same shit. We objectify them. And we're justified in doing so by the religious text that we grew up learning. Be it the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, whatever you subscribe to. But what if we got the whole shit fucked up, man? What if we got it all fucked up? Right? What if we got it all backwards? I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Again, we're just asking questions here. We're just spitballing. And some of you might say, well, okay, it doesn't matter. And I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just asking questions. So you might say it doesn't matter. But if it doesn't matter, then why do we live in a male-dominated world in existence? That's just like saying Jesus, the color of the Christ doesn't matter. Well, if that's the case, why not show him as he looked, as he probably looked? Because that dude that y'all holding up there looking like one of the Amen brothers, that ain't it. Look up the Google Cesar Bogna. I believe that's the name. Cesar Bogna. Cesar Bogna. I think that's if you start typing it in, it'll come up. But look him up. He was the son of the Pope. The messed up son too, because you know everybody got that messed up sibling. He was the messed up son of the Pope. But that's who they based the likeness of the Christ off of. That guy, Cesar Bogna. Again, you can Google it for yourselves, man. I'm not lying. That's who they based the image of the Christ off. Because before that image, before the Pope commissioned, it was either Leonardo or Michelangelo, one of them Ninja Turtle niggas. I can't remember which one, but it was one of them. He commissioned him to paint the image of the Christ off of his son. Because before that, there was no European or no European-centric image of the Christ. There wasn't. It didn't exist. But yeah, so what if we, but that's neither here nor there, but what if we got this whole thing twisted, man? And again, you have to ask yourself these questions. You have to question everything. You can't be scared to question anything because the truth stands up to questioning. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying. What if we got this whole thing twisted, man? Like, we done messed this whole thing up. We've already made a mess of this world as is. Right? What if we got it all twisted, man? So again, man, don't be afraid to question everything. And the things that you hold the nearest and dearest to you, those are the things that you have to question the most. Because you don't want to be living a lie. Right? So we're going to go ahead and get out of here for the evening. If you are new to the broadcast, we do this every Wednesday night, 9:30 Eastern, okay? You can follow me at Christopher Platt on Facebook. It's me and my rabbi buddy. I'm also on Twitter at The Real C Platt, and I'm now on Instagram at CD Platt. And if you ever miss any of the broadcasts, you can always tune into the Straight Talk Ustream or YouTube page. I beg your pardon, I got a little tongue-tied. You can go to the Straight Talk YouTube page at Straight Talk IGC. Again, that's Straight Talk IGC on YouTube. And because things work in threes, Straight Talk IGC. Okay? God willing, I'll see you all back here next week. Same Platt time, same Platt channel. Until we meet again, love y'all. Shalom.